Life is a strange thing. Sometimes it seems like the world is closing in on you. Other times, the world feels unfathomably large. Not in a way that overwhelms you, but in a way that reminds you that there is more in life than just your suffering. A beautiful world where a single sunset could silence the loudest mind. The rain dripping on your head so softly that your shoulders drop all the weight they've been carrying, if only for a moment. A world so vast that even your loudest scream becomes just a whisper, where the distance and scale make you feel so alone that you start to wonder if there's anyone else truly close to you. But you are here, small, fragile, temporary. But here, being small and fragile is not a failure, not in a world this large, because we all are. We are all alone, small, and fragile. And perhaps that's the only truth we share. A beautifully uniting and somehow unsettling truth. A single figure in a vast landscape. A grain of color against endless sand, a life that should vanish against the scale of everything around it. And yet, it doesn't. It stands out. It draws your gaze. It glows, not because it's powerful, but just because it is fragile. Because it moves gently with the wind through a world that could erase its fragile beauty at any moment. Because it chooses to keep going without any promise of arrival or even survival, and yet it keeps going. Journey is a beautiful metaphor for ourselves. Most of us spend our days trying to hold everything together, trying to be larger than our fears, stronger than our doubts, louder than the quiet ache that lives in the back of our minds. But there is always something that keeps us moving, a kind of feeling that only reveals itself when we stop fighting the world and let ourselves belong to it. The kind of feeling that makes the impossible suddenly seem less insurmountable. Hope. After walking for what feels like an eternity, through heat, through storms, through ice, it is the only thing that reinvigorates us. The only fire heating the body up. Giving up is always within grasp, but somehow it becomes more and more hideous the closer you stand to it. All of us have felt the soft embrace of ending the climb, but right before you surrender, hope burns brightest because of how far away it feels. There is a kind of beauty that never asks for attention. It exists in a silent corner of the world. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand meaning. It simply exists in the slope of a dune, in the curve of the wind over the sand, in the sunlight cresting over the mountain. It always seems so far when you go looking for it, but when you don't, when you just keep walking, you will always see it. And somehow, in that moment, in the silence, you begin to feel the weight you've been carrying begin to loosen. You don't drop it completely, but you get help carrying it. The world feels wide enough to hold that weight with you. Then, unexpectedly, another figure appears. Just like you, it is another nameless, fragile shape moving through a vast world with its own weight on its shoulders. No names, no histories, no explanations. Just another pair of shoulders moving through an endless world, sharing your road without sharing a word. You don't talk. You don't need to. Two small shapes drifting across an ocean of emptiness. And suddenly, the emptiness doesn't feel so hostile. It feels full of life and more beauty that you hadn't noticed before. It feels safe. You move on the path together, climb the dunes together, glide on the wind together, not to reach your destination faster, but because the sun seems to shine that little bit brighter when you've got company. The distance seems shorter, the shadows seem brighter, the endlessness a little less endless. A quiet confirmation that existence isn't solitary by design. For a moment, you are not just walking through a world, you're a part of it. Seen by something with no eyes, held by something with no arms, understood by something with no ears, loved by something with no heart. And in that moment, awe becomes overwhelming. Not the painful kind, the kind that arrives when beauty becomes too large for the body to contain, the kind that fills your chest until it trembles. Tears gather, but not from sadness, from recognition. You are alive. You are small, but that smallness is extraordinary. You continue on. The climb becomes difficult. The wind howls louder. The cold bites harder. But you've already changed. You have seen yourself reflected in something ancient and vast. And for the first time, you understand that the fragile parts of you are the ones that make you, you. They're the ones that matter the most. They're the ones that make your journey your own. At the very end, when the summit breaks open into light, there is nothing. Only release. The quiet understanding that the journey was never about reaching the mountain. It was about becoming someone who can walk towards beauty despite of the world's indifference. To hold on to the hope in your heart and to lean on the nameless shapes we share our path with. Awe is not found at the peak. It is found in the moment when you realize that you were never walking alone. And beauty, the kind that makes the human heart ache, is simply the world reminding you that even the smallest life, however fragile it may be, can move with grace along its infinite path towards its destiny.